What's up everyone, Austin here from Austin Hole Audio and Visual and Make Pop Music, and I'm super excited about today's video. Instead of doing like a tip or a trick or a tutorial like we always do on the channel, we wanted to kind of branch out our content. So today we're going to be going over how to make an Ariana Grande style beat, and I'll probably put some vocals to it at the end of it if we're, running good on time. So this is not going to be like super in-depth at any one point in the song. We're going to try to go pretty quickly just so you can kind of follow along. If there's anything that you want to see more in depth from this tutorial in the future, like if you want to see the sound design or, how to mix the drums or whatever, just let us know and we can make actually a full video on that one specific thing so we can actually dive into the nitty gritty, because I don't want this to be a 2-hour video on our YouTube channel. So we are going to be making an Ariana Grande style song. First thing is to determine like which period of Ariana Grande we want to be kind of working towards, and I definitely want to go towards the more modern, like God Is a Woman, Thank You Next, and 7 Rings. There were a couple things I needed to do beforehand. I needed to kind of identify the tempo and the key of the 3 songs that I just mentioned, just to kind of make sure we're kind of in the same ball field. So God Is a Woman was, I believe, 145 BPM, and it's D flat major. And then Thank You Next was 107 BPM, and that was also D flat major. And then 7 Rings was actually D flat minor, and that was 70 BPM, so doubled as 140. So you're definitely getting that like 140, 145 trap kind of vibe from God Is a Woman and 7 Rings. And then Thank You Next is that slower 107 where it's really got that nice groove. And then, she really likes that D flat key. I'm probably going to pull it to a little bit different key just so I can kind of sing along with it, but we'll try to stick to like the same kind of vibe with the gospel chords and things like that. So I definitely don't want to go super hip hop with this. I definitely want it to be more R&B pop. So without further ado, honestly, let's just hop in and start messing around. Okay, so now we're into the session. Let's go ahead and start. The first thing we need to do is come up with kind of just an idea for the sound that we want to go for and find a chord progression. So I know that Ariana Grande has been using a ton of these like really lush chord type patches. And so I think that we really want to go for like a nice airy pluck that's going to have some body to it. It'll sound almost like a modified kind of like Rhodes or Wurlitzer or something like that. So there is one preset that comes to mind. It's from our Nashville pack that just came out under FTMI. Again, these will be coming out soon for Make Pop. But I've got one called Dream Killer, and this one's killer. Let me drag down the volume a little bit so it doesn't kill us. So now we just need to find a chord progression. I like that one, so I think that we could go forward. I don't really like the last note though, so let me play around with that last chord. There we go. Yeah, honestly, that sounds super Ariana Grande to me. So let's find a tempo. That's cool. It's kind of dragging a little bit. Let me take it to like 125, just so we can get some bounce once we start adding drums. Scratch that. Here we go. Killer. There we go. That one's done. So we'll call this pluck. Okay, now we've got some plucks laid down. I really like this chord progression. I feel like we can really build it. So let's go ahead and take a listen. I didn't perfect them and quantize them and everything because I like a little bit of that looseness for the R&B feel. So now we've got this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and loop it on itself several times. Okay. Cool. So now we've got our main pluck. Now I kind of want to add a pad just to fill it out. So I'm going to go back into Serum, route it to Synths. And then there is a pad that's in, I believe, our Dark Pop pack. And it's called, I think it's Spooks. Yeah, that's it. I love that. That sounds killer. So let's go ahead and lay that down. quantize that real quick. Easy. Okay, so I've copy and pasted the pad, so now we've got a pluck and a pad. Cool, so I'm loving this. Now the next thing that I think that I really want to do is go ahead and start adding some kind of like bass element just to, you know, maybe play around. I don't know if we're going to use it right now. We'll start kind of formatting the song once we have all of our elements. So let's go to, there was a cool one in Nashville that I just did. Let's do Gloomy Day. I like that one a lot. Let's turn down the compression just so we're not. There we go. So I'm kind of hearing like a bump, 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 bump. So let's kind of play around with it. Let me make sure, yeah, set to 12, cool. So let's go ahead and try this. Cool, I like that. Let's quantize that and should be good to go. Call this bass pluck. Then I'll copy and paste it a bunch. Okay, so now we've got a bass pluck in. I'm not gonna have it right away. I think we'll kind of use this first little 8 bars or whatever as an intro, then have it come in. So we'll have, let's check this out. Cool. So, I mean, we're doing really, really, really well. So let's find a new element. Okay, so the next thing I want to add is I think I want to just add one more kind of like little pluck synth sound under the one that we already have. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Serum again, and I'm going to go for like the same kind of vibey, super, super roomy pluck style, but I want to do something a little bit different, and we had one in our free pack that we gave out forever ago. So there is... And I kind of like the depth that that gives, so we can easily just copy and paste this down to here. And we can call this chords. So now we've got let's drag this down 1 octave. Yeah, that's sounding perfect to me. So we've got a pluck, a chord, some pads, we've got a bass pluck. Now the next thing that I think that we're gonna need is, I think we need some kind of, like maybe, let's go ahead and add some kind of lead element. So let's go back into Serum. I'm just using Serum a lot so we can give away a lot of these presets for you guys. So I wanna do some kind of higher pad, and there was another cool one in here, I believe in the free one, and it was, let's just try this actually. Yeah, there we go. Let's layer some kind of lead over this. All right, let's go ahead and try this. Let's go up a little bit. Let's actually go ahead and track it just in case it's good. Perfect. So I love that. Now we've got some kind of like lead element going. Let's go ahead and quantize it. Perfect. Now I'll just go through and copy and paste that. Okay, so now we've got a pluck, a chord, some pads, and a synth pluck, and then we've got that bass coming in. So let's go ahead and let's start adding some drums. Okay, I loaded up Groove Agent, and I just loaded a couple snaps from some packs that we have. I believe that these are all in the Popstar pack. So I loaded 3 because what I like to do is I like to have 1 snap consistent on the 2 and the 4, or just every other one basically. But then I like to switch off 1, so I'll show you kind of what ideas I've got. Let's pull the snaps in when this synth pluck bass comes in. Nice. And now let's just quantize that up. Perfect. And then let's add some reverb. Cool, so I just pulled up Verb Suite, and now we've just got a little bit of reverb on it. Perfect. Yeah, it's sounding sick so far. So we'll start building it up. Okay, so now we've got a snap duplicated a bunch. Next thing I want to do is I want to add a kick. So I'm going to go ahead and add groove agent. Okay, so I'm going to turn on a metronome and let's track a kick drum. Let's quantize this. Cool, so I quantized the kick and I duplicated it a little bit. Now let's just take a listen to what we've got from the start. Let's go ahead and let's start adding some more stuff. Okay, so now we have this kick and the snap, and I really like it, but I have this really cool loop that I would love to use. It's from our Foley pack from Make Pop Music, and we'll drag it out here just so it's to time, because right now it's 150 and I don't need it to be 150. Maybe there's one more thing that we can add. There is a, what did I call it? There's like a keyboard loop on here. Yeah, perfect. And then we can just also drag this out so it's to time. Perfect, so now we're getting a lot more movement. Let's go ahead, let's keep building this. Okay, so now we've got some drums. There's a couple things that I think that we need to add. I think Ariana Grande carries a lot of like organic elements through her songs. Like in God is a Woman, she's got guitar, and Thank You Next, she's got like these like old style Rhodes, and in the new one, she's got cello. That's kind of like a plucked cello. So let's go ahead and let's give it kind of like that symphonic element. So let's maybe do some kind of, maybe a cello. Yeah, see, it's already pulled up because I used this in a mix the other day. Let's go ahead and give this a shot and see, because if we can kind of mimic that melody that we've got going. Yeah, let's try. That way we can just take this and see what we're getting. Let's see if we go down an octave. Let's call this Chelly. I love that. That's adding some nice organic flair. And there's one more thing that I want to go ahead and add real quick. Let's add a wurlitzer. And there's a preset on here that I love so much. I can already tell you that I'm probably going to go with it. It is Dark Ballad. So I'm hearing like some like staccato-y type stuff like that. So let's go ahead. Yeah, perfect. Let's go ahead and quantize that. Let's go ahead and go into, I know that our Dark Pop pack has some really, really cool rim shots in it. So let's do this one. And we're just gonna stack it on the fourth. I don't need it to trail the whole thing, so I'm gonna do this. And then let's go ahead and filter out the top end quite a bit. Okay, so honestly, I'm thinking up to this point, I'm really, really liking the verses. I don't think we need a lot more here. It's gonna start getting overcrowded. I wanna leave room for a vocal. So without further ado, honestly, let's go to the pre-chorus. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete all the percussion because I'm picturing this going back down because it's kind of built up with these drums. So let's go ahead and take a listen to what we've done. So I definitely want some kind of like bass pad, so I'm gonna go into Serum. This is why it's so important to know what plugins you use and then what plugins you're really, really comfortable with. So when you need to make a track in, under an hour, you can easily do that. Let's try this. Perfect. Exactly what I wanted. I also too want to maybe make another pad instrument just so there's a little bit more vibe in this. Let's just try Arctic. Yeah, I feel like that might be perfect. Go ahead, we'll just duplicate that other pad and then I'm just gonna drag it out to be a full bar instead of the half bar. Maybe we could add a riser. There's another, I like Scary. Scary is just a pretty, always helpful riser. Let's go ahead and drag that. kind of want to pull it back to where it ends here, and then we'll go ahead and we'll chop off all of this kind of stuff. There we go. Now we can have a chorus come in really, really big. Cool. So now we've got it all the way up into the end of like a pre-chorus. So honestly, the first thing that I'm probably going to do to just get a chorus started is go ahead and copy and paste the MIDI files. And then let's go ahead and copy and paste that chorus pad. And then I definitely don't want to keep the same kick pattern. I want to do something a little bit different. Let me go to these kick patterns that I played right here that I didn't really like for the verse, and let's see how we like them. Yeah, so I like that. So it's super, super simple. That was the alternate that I played for this verse off camera a little while ago. But I want to drag it in here. So honestly, I think let's go ahead and let's start layering some snares. So I'm going to go ahead and open up a Groove Agent for snares. Cool, so I opened up Groove Agent and then I just dragged in a couple snares that we have. I just duplicated the actual snap track and then dragged in the ooh snare and the trap queen snare. And then I went ahead and put some reverb on it, just like the slate reverb, not really doing anything. So now let's go ahead and let's play. Let's go ahead and quantize this. I'm having a little bit of latency from all the screen caps and everything, but check this out. Cool, so I love that for the snare. Okay, so I think we're definitely getting to the chorus. I kind of want some impacts just to signify it. This is always one that I go with. I love cellars. It's like a cellar door. We'll route this to drums, turn it way down. Let's do glassy. It's kind of got like that white noise effect. We'll drag it down a little bit. Route it to drums, pull it down quite a bit. Cool. So we're getting there. There's a couple things that I definitely want to add. The first thing is probably I need to add like some hi-hats. So I want to go ahead and add some open hi-hats. So let's go ahead to the hat section here. And let's go ahead and add some open hi-hats on the backbeat. Let's turn this way down. Route it to drum so we're not clipping. Cool, now we'll duplicate that. Okay, so now we've got the open hat. So I ended up doing lampshade first and the open up second. So now let's take a listen. Cool. So let's go ahead and let's start adding in some open hats. So I'm going to add a sampler track. Oh wait, what am I doing? Add a sampler. Because what I like about this is I can drag in a hi-hat and then I can go ahead and like kind of tune it. So cool. So maybe we can do some kind of like wind down. Let me turn it down a bit though because it's piercing. And then let's go ahead and route this to drums. Let's cool. And let's go ahead and start pitching these down. And then we'll take these and let's pitch these up. Cool. So we'll just copy and paste and redo all of these. Cool. So let's go ahead and take a listen to it with the hi-hats that we've got. Cool, so I like that. I think the next thing to do is I feel like we could have an extra clap kind of layered in because I feel like the snare hits are lacking a little bit just with how dense the mix has gotten. So let's check out some claps. Song, let's do that one. I kind of like the room on it. Just copy and paste this and see how this goes. Cool, yeah, that added a nice little bit of dimension to me. So now we have that clap layered up there. Cool, so I think we're pretty much done with drums and percussion for the chorus. We've got plenty going on. So now the next thing that I think we need to do is we need to add an 808 underneath. So what I like to do for 808s is I just duplicate the kick down. That way I have it where it needs to be. And then I just go through and I drag it out. And I've dragged them all out, so now let's take a listen. So now we need to go down to here. So now we've got, let's go ahead and copy and paste that. So this 808 is already adding a lot of sustain to this. So let's go ahead and take a listen. Cool. Yeah, we're adding a lot more depth already. So now there's a couple more things that I want to add. I want to go ahead and I want to add an organ. So I'm going to go ahead and add like a B3. I just want to go ahead and copy these Wurlitzer keys. And I love this pluck that we've got, but it needs some more oomph in the chorus. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate the pluck. And I want something that's going to be a little bit sharper. So there is like a music box style pluck in this. It's called Almost a Music Box. Now we've got the organ and the music box added in. There are a couple more things that I want to do. I want to take this kind of initial bass plug because I really like the high-end element of it, and I want to go ahead and duplicate it. And what we're going to do is we're going to kind of just replicate this 808 pattern, but we need to drag it down an octave. Now let's take it out. That just adds some nice width and character to this, so we'll call this chorus bass pluck. Perfect. It's sounding super, super cool. The last, there's a couple things that I'm kind of hearing in my head. Right here, it would be nice to have some kind of little fill going into the chorus. Maybe like some kind of little like snare roll or something. And then it would be cool to maybe have some vocal yells in the chorus just because I love doing that. So let's go to the vocals. So we've got cool. I love that. That adds a nice little bounce to it. Okay, so the last thing I think I want to add is I want to add a snare roll. So let me go ahead and just duplicate this snare track just so I have it. Let's quantize this. But what I want to do is I'm going to call this snare roll. There is one more thing I want to do. I want to automate this pitch down. Perfect. Now that's just going to take it into that hook. So now we've kind of got a full beat laid out. We've got a lot going on. Let's go ahead and take a quick listen to it. And let's just kind of see if we have any ideas for a melody. And if so, I'm not going to kind of record that. I'll just go ahead and throw it on the track and just kind of show you as I'm performing it. Cool, so I've definitely got some ideas for vocals. Let me go ahead and record these and then we will kind of fast forward into what everything looks like with all the vocals and we'll give it a full listen and a full rundown. So there are a couple areas that I want to add harmonies and duplicates. So I want to go ahead and double for the left and the right, the main melody right here, and definitely for the hook right here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll kind of go ahead and listen to everything with all the tracks unmuted together. Okay, so the track is completely laid out. Let's just kind of recap what we've got. We've got a kick, we've got some different loops, we've got a snap, some rim hips for some depth, snare for the chorus, we've got a riser into the chorus, snare roll into the chorus, some vocal shouts in the chorus just to give it some bounce, impacts in the chorus just to give it some punch once it comes in. We layered a clap in the chorus just to give it some depth, open hi-hats, and we've got some clicky little hi-hats. Then we've got our main little like pluck chord. Then we layered that with another serum patch that was the chords. Then we've got our pad that kind of sweeps in and out. We've got our main synth pluck to bum bum bum, like the main melody that goes through. Then we bring in some staccato wurlitzers and some cello pluck that's the same kind of synth pluck. Then we've got a chorus pad when everything kind of dies down. and that continues into the chorus. Then we've got an organ that comes into the chorus, and then we've also got a music box that comes into the chorus. Then for the bass, we've got a bass pluck, we've got a bass pad, and then we've got the 808, and then we just layer that bass pluck on for some nice dramatic effect. Then we've got a lead vocal, a double, left and right in these sections, so I guess what would be like the B section of the verse and then the chorus, and then a harmony in these sections. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's take a final listen.
I'm going back to my ways, yeah. Sweet and savage, getting paid, yeah. I ain't worried about the hating. Radio spots got me playing. I'm coming back with a vengeance. Pay attention for my entrance. Compare me to Miss Independent, but I don't see any resemblance. I got problems you don't want. Just bought a new crib in Boca Raton. They say that I'm so great, I say I'm beyond. And if you keep talking shit, I won't respond. Got my ride or dies that keep me on top. You know I'm addicted and I won't stop. Keep on breaking records when my songs drop. I say thank you next, you know I run pop. Bought a new apartment for my plaques, yeah. They put me down but keep on coming back, yeah. I'm the alpha leader of the pack, yeah. They think I'm timid, show 'em I'm a bad bitch.
Cool, so yeah, that's it. All right, so I think that wraps it up, man. We've got everything. We even laid down a little bit of a top line. I know it was a short video and we went really, really fast paced and we didn't dive super into anything, but if there's anything specific you want to see, let me know, and we can also do a full tutorial on just one specific element or one specific idea from this production video. But if you want to see more of these style videos, just let me know what artists you want to see me tackle or what kind of genre or vibe you want to see me tackle. This one was super, super fun. I will be actually packaging a lot of the presets and the samples that I use because a lot of them are in our Make Pop Music packs, and we'll go ahead and give that away for free. There will be a download link in the actual description below, so just click that, enter your email, and you should get it. Also, exciting news, Make Pop Music has a new website coming very, very, very soon, and we'll be selling all of our presets, samples. We've got courses and tutorials, and we're going to be having blog posts with all kinds of free articles, so that'll be coming soon. We'll give you an update on the channel, but thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please make sure that you comment, like, and subscribe. It always helps us a ton. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and call it, and I will see you guys next time. Much love, Make Pop Music. Peace out.
I got problems